Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Back to the City. I'm Simon Calder, and today I'm joined by all 4 members of Candid Kid. Not only here, but also at the Minnehaha Recording Company, where they're going to be playing 3 songs. Welcome.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. It's especially exciting because you're also going to be playing the second Back to the City showcase event on the final Thursday of this month, on April 26th. It's going to be at Mortimer's with Edward the Confessor and City Councillor, who are going to be debuting a new lineup, and also Karate Break. And we'll be witnessing some of these performances on the green screen throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Let's begin, as we always do, at the Minnehaha Recording Company with the performance that you did there just a couple of days ago. This is Jeans, which is the lead single from the new EP, performed by Candid Kid at the Minnehaha Recording Company. welcome back to the Duplex. That was Jeans, which is a favourite local song of mine now. It's so fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
You're very welcome. Is it about Grandpa's jeans, or is it about your jeans? It's kind of about both.
Oh,
Jeans.
Yeah, it is. I guess it is.
Yeah, the opening lyric is, hear my grandpa talk about his one and only pair of jeans, and then by the chorus, sober up and find sticky fingers rummaging through the holes of my jeans. Why do these two different pairs of jeans feature in the song?
I think if you take a step back, it's a lot about the grandfather mentality of like, you have one pair of jeans that you can go to the store and buy, and they fit and they're good.
Mhm.
And as time has progressed, there's a million different styles of jeans that we can pick from.
Right.
And the options turn into usually overcomplicating the situation, and then you're rethinking whether you bought the right pair of jeans. And that's not specifically, but like as it pertains to relationships, I think. Yeah.
So if I'm understanding correctly, it was simple for the grandpa. He can carry himself with confidence because he knows that his pair of jeans, that the two important things are that they fit to the waist and that they bend at the knee.
Yeah.
He's comfortable in his jeans. But then we have so many options.
Yeah.
And then we're left wondering, are these jeans me?
Yeah.
What do my jeans say about me?
I don't know. I get Levi's to buy some.
Huge marketing ploy.
What's the significance of the grandpa's confidence? We hear this song begins with hearing him talk, and then carrying the confidence that certain men have simple needs later on in that verse.
I think that at the core, the song is about. At the time, I was, involved in a certain relationship that seemed like it checked a lot of boxes, but it wasn't. And relating the jeans to a certain kind of relationship where I, viewed my grandfather as a very different dater, probably back in the day, and that also pertains to how I explained, the options in jeans, and nowadays there's a lot of options in dating circles.
Yeah.
And that tends to complicate it, but also allow you to maybe find something that is better fit potentially.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the first record, which was just the two of you at the back.
Yep.
Yeah. At what point did the four-piece come to be?
I mean, soon after you guys did that
Yeah.
record, right?
We
you guys came up with
Yeah. It was right after we recorded and had everything done, and we reached out to these two because we needed somebody to play live with.
Yeah.
And we were just using studio musicians, and then
We got really lucky.
we did.
Yeah.
And then what we found was it really, I think the songs were even treated as we got to spend more time playing together. They got treated in different ways, and developed our live sound that I think really influenced the way we recorded this last EP.
Right. What are some of the differences?
We weren't there for the first recording,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
I know that it was a lot more produced in the sense of like taking things part by part. And the new EP, everything that you hear, I guess for the most part, is tracked live. It's the four of us in a room playing together to kind of capture the energy of the live show.
Yeah.
Because that was the sound that we had developed over, I think, like 3 years of playing
Absolutely,
music
yeah.
with one another.
So not dissimilar to the session, actually.
Yep.
Like these,
Yeah, no,
the,
that's
the
exactly
songs
how
that's
it
performed
went.
in the session are
Definitely,
very similar to the live show and to the in-studio, to the studio recordings. Yeah, which is great. Yeah, let's have a quick look at a Turtleneck EP. It's great as an initial kind of statement of Candid Kid. There is the lyric about being candid. In Pathetic, there's a lyric about being...
That's
When I rush to the punch, my candid complexion is too much. Is there any special significance to that? What does that reveal about the band name?
I think that for me, music in general is a way for adults to act candid and be accepted, like a kid, will run around and say anything that they're thinking or feeling. And
Will be outspoken and
just like really letting out emotions, whether they're good or bad. And as you get older, like it's just, it would be exhausting to be, but people still have those emotions on the inside, and music to me felt like a way that people were expressing those feelings, and or at least the music that I was listening to at the time, and the music that I thought I was making, and resonated with. It was the people that were saying things that you wouldn't be saying in everyday life to complete strangers, but
sure. So music is a medium through which adults can maintain something like the candidness that kids have.
Yeah. And also, it gives you the opportunity to hear about other people that are going through similar things, whereas in any other kind of medium, you probably wouldn't, get to hear that or relate to it in that way. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Is Blush more candid than the Turtleneck EP, do you think?
Yeah.
Time to think so.
Yeah, so.
I think so. Definitely more swear words, at least.
Yeah.
I eased up on that, yeah.
I wish we could use the word fuck is used a lot.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It was funny, Simon. We were recording, and we were getting close to the end of recording. I remember Ben pulling me aside, being worried about what his grandma was going to think about her hearing it, because it's like, what's she going to say? There's a lot.
Yeah. Grandpa likes it. He gets a cameo.
Yeah.
Grandma thinks you should watch it.
We'll see.
There's a premonition in the song Young, because there's a lyric about surrendering to the grace of my face hitting pavement. If I understand correctly, between the two records, the major thing that happened was an accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have thought about that on occasion.
Pretty good.
My face has hit pavement at other times in my life too, but I guess I didn't technically. My face didn't hit the pavement. My face
hit a screw.
Hit the windshield.
Windshield of a car.
Right,
yeah, and this was a month before the record release for Turtleneck. Is that correct? Shortly
it was something around there. It was a month before the release show.
Yeah.
And we had already put it up online, and it was actually the first day we got played on the Current. So
wow.
Tanner came out when I was in the hospital bed and sat by me and put on the live stream of the Current.
Like on your phone.
Brought my laptop to the hospital room, and we queued it up, and then that was the first time we heard ourselves in the Current.
Yeah.
And then Ben might have been awake. I don't remember.
I vaguely remember.
Up. Yeah.
You're shaking him.
But it was really cool. Yeah, we heard it on some laptop speakers.
Yeah.
That was an hour before it came out, or before that song was played on the air.
The accident was an hour.
Maybe 2 hours before.
It was.
But I got a phone call because Ben and I were gonna just hang out, and I think all of us might have been planning on getting together, and we're just gonna maybe drink a beer or two, and
you guys were going to play at the record release?
Yes.
Wait, so the band had formed was that going to be the first show?
No, we had probably been together at least a year.
We learned the hard way.
I think it was about 6 months.
Really? Okay.
Between when we released Turtleneck, and then we were playing shows around town, just here and there, and then we finally did the release show, because it was one of those things we just kind of threw it out. We didn't know what we were doing, and then people kind of like, "Hey man, you should probably do a release show for that. They do these things. Should probably announce it and get some people to talk about it." So that was the first record. Definitely learned from our mistakes on that one.
Of how to put a record out.
Oh yeah, I think we did a little better this time.
So, what impact did that day have on Blush and on all the new songs?
Yeah, I found it. I'm just gonna say quickly, word-wise, lyrically, I don't think it was really hard for me to write about it, because it was
traumatizing.
Yeah, it was really tough. It was there's some brain injury stuff that I went through, and just took a lot of time, and it's hard to capture that, or to really know how to put that in words.
To speak candidly about that.
Yeah,
and it's something that not everyone can relate to.
Right. Yeah, and it's just I haven't been able to find the words to explain that situation, but I think I think we all kind of felt a little different. I think that the energy of kind of the frustration that I was going through and everything like that fed into it.
Sonically, it sounds quite different, doesn't it? So what are some of the new sonic features, and how did those come about?
Different producer,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah, Brett.
Changed. Yeah.
Brett Bullion?
Mhm.
Yeah. You seem to work very well with Brett.
Mhm.
Yeah, Reese and I did. We're also in Jessica Manning and did a record with Brett maybe
Like
6
6
months
months before.
prior to that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And when we were thinking about doing another EP as a band, that was for sure one of the people that we both really loved working with. It's really inspiring to work with. And so when we sat down with him and we're kind of going around to a couple different producers,
Yeah.
asking about like, how would you do this, or what do you think about this? He, right from the get-go, was like, it's all about the live sound. Like, we sent him demos and he said, I love the energy in the sound and I want to make the record like that. And so that was really cool from the get-go to have him have a vision for like how the sounds would be shaped.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was just kind of like dialing in different things. And Ben could probably speak more to the vocal production itself, because that was for sure different and something you were pushing for.
Yeah, what was the difference with vocal production?
It was less, I think everything was less polished in a way that it was, we tried to write, and as writing as a band, it was very much like, how does this translate live? And then there were a couple things that we pushed and like stacked some vocals and but they were still pretty like raw takes.
I didn't think just the way that we wrote the record, like as a band in a room, it'd be wild. I can't even remember what the song sounded like when they started, but how different that the first iteration of a song was to like what is on Blush.
Okay.
It's amazing how many versions of songs we really had, I think.
Yeah.
Just different parts, and a lot of it was just having fun. We would just, we'd almost joke about a way to do a song, and then suddenly that would actually turn into
The way to do
a
it.
cool way to do it.
Yeah, wow.
We'd be like, oh, what if this was like kind of funky, and then, or like Blush, the last song.
Oh, no.
We
So
were
the title
like,
track.
what if we just like played it really slow?
So did
Yeah.
lips exist first?
Yeah.
Yes.
So momentarily, you'll be performing lips at the Minnehaha Recording Company. Right now, we can hear the song Blush, which is the title track on the record. And it's the same song, but it's totally different. The lyrics are the same. The
Lyrics
song
are
structure is the same.
Yeah, structure is the same, but it's just played.
What's the story behind the two related
we
songs?
were fighting on a tempo.
Okay.
Felt good.
Yes.
And it was like we wanted to go either faster or slower or whatever, and then we were kind of like throw up our hands and just like let's just
Do two songs?
really change it up, and that's how Blush became a thing.
Yeah.
And then we were debating back and forth: do we use one? Do we use the other?
Yeah.
And then we did this really confusing thing where we put one on the record and released the other as a
single.
single.
Yeah,
And
nobody
then everybody's
understood
like, so Lips is on your EP, right?
So we haven't perfected the
We
art
haven't
of coming out with.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's still
Yeah.
a work in progress for us.
Yeah.
Well, and I kept having this idea where I was like, which is really impractical. What if we had 2 music videos? And they were for
Oh,
both
yeah,
of
we
those
were
songs.
Oh,
and then we
yeah.
had a
Yeah.
website and you could see them both at the same time.
I thought there were good ideas with that.
They
I
were-
will defend that idea.
Yeah,
as legitimate.
there were.
Yeah,
Guys, let's put this in our back pocket. We don't want to spill the beans.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Never
You're
mind.
right.
Yeah.
You don't want to spill
Really
the,
bad idea. Really bad.
You don't want to spill the beans. You do want to spill the paint,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
what is happening in the video.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Great segue.
Yeah.
That was good.
Totally.
So, what is the significance of the colorful paint?
A lot of that was like, well, first of all, huge props to Ashley Mary and Michael Seitz, because Michael Seitz was the art director on it, and Ashley Mary was the illustrator, and really kind of the minds behind the colors and just helping us choose those colors.
Sure.
But I think at the very beginning, all of us were talking about like, we had the record sounding the way we loved it, and it was all mixed, and we thought, what visuals maybe don't feel like they would sound like this record. I think that was kind of the beginning. And
What would be wrong?
yeah,
What would-
in a
what
way,
would-
yeah.
what would be
like,
incongruous, yeah.
Because when you first look at it, like, is that what it sounds like? It's hard to view that now because
Yeah.
it just is what it is. But I think at the time we had all these mood boards made, and I remember all of us were sitting at Whole Foods over lunch one time, and we were just looking through a bunch of things, and it's kind of, I think all of us were just kind of like, yeah, maybe it's like a paint thing, kind of messy,
Yeah.
but at the same time very bright pastel colors, and then at the same time there's like a dark contrast to it.
Yeah.
And then Ben just found some mannequins on Craigslist.
Yeah, I scoured Craigslist for some mannequins and
It seemed like
the
cool
record that we used
The day in
in
the
the
life.
Lips video, and yeah, we just kind of did some photo shoots with that. Did some photo shoots with just all of our faces, and had Ashley Mary like paint over them.
Yeah.
And yeah, working with Michael Seitz and Ashley, we just kind of wanted to make a piece of work. We work in visual fields as well, and we were just like, we can do this. We want to, like, more so than we did on the first record. Like, we wanted to really think through it and like, have it. But yeah, I think the title specifically, Blush, is kind of where I don't think anybody would listen to the EP and say this should be called Blush. You know, it's like, I think it's got like more grit to it, and Blush tends to have a lot like softer and like, and we just wanted that contrast, and then we're like, okay, how does that work visually? And the idea of paint on top of mannequins or the photos of us with paint on them, there's a symbolic feeling of like actual physical blush that one would apply to themselves, but in kind of pushed to an extreme.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And yeah.
Because the song begins, she was in the bathroom getting clothed, hair done up, lipstick, blush. All that's carried in her clutch now accents her bones.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. So obviously that lyric relates to, I mean, your bones being accented by the paint on the face.
Yeah.
How did that? What's the genesis of that lyric and that image, which by virtue of the record being called Blush becomes essentially significant?
I think that specifically Blush and Lips, the lyrics to that it was actually kind of a songwriting process where it felt at the beginning when I was working on it, we had kind of the structure of the tune figured out, and I was just making up stuff over top of it and seeing where it would go. And to a certain extent, it felt almost too like standard pop song, about like love, boy meets girl, and all that stuff. And I had a moment where I kind of stopped myself, and I was like, no, like that's okay. Like I can allow myself to write that kind of a tune.
Sure.
And we don't have a lot of like quote unquote love songs, and so just went down that rabbit hole and was like, try to write the best kind of like pop boy meets girl kind of song that I could.
Wonderful. You did a good job. Let's
It worked out. Yeah.
Let's witness the recent Minnehaha Recording Company performance of it in its Lips manifestation. This is not Blush, but Lips at the Minnehaha Recording Company. That was lips. Welcome back. And lips and mouths, very important, I think. Could you take a lip or two from my face and put them to a better use? That's really interesting. That's
Sounds sexy, Ben.
Yeah.
That's the first time. That's the first time Coop has even heard those.
Yeah, what are the lyrics? Could you say?
But yeah, tongue's present throughout the record too, even in Lips and Blush, tongue-tied by the spectacle, for example. In Neon, one heart flakes, one mouth caves, the cat's got me by the tongue. What is the significance of tongues and mouths? And
Yeah, right?
yeah, it's a therapy session. Yeah, so part 2 of the interview is the therapy session. Lull you into a full sense of security.
Bill you after.
Yeah, I think it's just the 2 lines about tongues. It's like when you have that idea, when you have that thing that you're trying to say, like I might be doing now, and you can't like get it out.
Yeah.
It's just a reference to like something stopping you from being able to express what you need to want to say. I think in Lips, it's like it was a more innocent take on something, like it was definitely recalling times where it was just like that was, you were just completely in the moment.
Yeah.
And like this fascination with that. So.
Yeah, there's a celebration of the body there in Lips, I think. I mean, the fact that it's called Lips, for example. Whereas at other moments in the record, there is stuff is happening to the body. In Snap, for example. You keep bending me back, but darling, I don't bend like that. I just snicker and snap. And then snapping is happening again in, is it in Lit? That there's the lyric about snapping again?
There's a...
She took me by the tongue.
Yeah,
it's the lyric there.
Again. I guess I'm just really impressed with body parts. This is good. Dive in deep.
Actually, I never put any of this.
We should have just had like
I just played
anatomy.
But yeah, I feel in one couplet in Lit, she took me by the tongue and she teased me, but turning between the weed and whiskey, the mind and body seem to have a tendency to snap. So that's just interesting that, in Snap, the body is being bent and snickered and snapped. Now in Lit, the mind and body have a tendency to snap.
Yeah.
What's happening there with this snap? These different types of snapping?
I mean, it's just I think it's a really quick and easy way to articulate painful feelings or being pushed to a breaking point.
Yeah.
Whether that is, usually I think in these cases imposed, especially in Snap, imposed by relationship feelings or feeling like you're being pulled in different directions. And
being contorted, being like contorted, the mind and body being contorted.
Exactly. Yeah. And trying to, I think a lot of these examples are just trying to find a way to express, what's happening emotionally and into a more physical, thing like the body that everybody can relate to. And it's a lot more kind of painting with words kind of thing.
Painting, I claw out the toes that you put in my mouth. But again, it's enough.
Yeah,
it's like
man, I'm obsessed.
The next one will be about feet.
I don't think I'll be.
I love your toes.
What's it saying about the relationship between body and mind then? Because there are all these different body parts, but then there is that one lyric about the body and mind having a tendency to snap.
I think in that particular spot in Lit, I think that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
I think that the rest of it is sometimes more literal, but most of the times just figurative and talking more about the actual mind in a way, or emotions, or those kind of more abstract ideas.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, just putting, making them, drawing them out as like physical things. so that you can really paint,
Yeah.
paint a picture. So.
Paint the yeah, and paint. The one lyric about paint is in lit. Picking out the paint like erosion was a job.
Picking at the paint like erosion was a job.
Picking out the paint.
Yeah, lit was a lot about a rebellion in a way. Like it's like you kind of like picking at like a white picket fence because you feel like you need to like the erosion needs to be like there's like some kind of like rebellion that you need to like if things can't be this perfect. Or
Yeah, you need to mess something up.
You need to mess something up. Cooper gets that. Cooper's been in my hometown.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said the first time I visited his hometown.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just, it was a little too perfect. It bothered me. It's like everything was too much in its right place. Yes, it is a very nice town.
It's a very
Maybe
nice
a little
town.
too nice.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
Pleasantville. You know Tobey Maguire?
Do I know Toby Maguire?
No, Pleasantville, the movie star.
Oh.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. What it needs is to have the paint splattered all over it, like in the video.
And
Yeah.
that's actually exactly what. Have you seen the movie?
I haven't.
That's actually it's all in black and
Oh,
white.
yeah, that's right.
And then
Yeah.
they start to discover these things that are like taboo, like
Yeah.
things of a
Ah.
sexual nature or whatever,
Yeah.
are like getting outside of the box.
And
And then
that brings
slowly,
colour.
the town starts to come alive, and there's color,
Yeah.
which might actually be a really good metaphor for what we're talking about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
I think lit could be looked at as like a love song, but it's actually kind of following in a backed out like kind of overarching perspective. It's definitely following the energy that I felt moving up here when I first moved up here from small town Iowa and just feeding off the city
Yeah.
and just like the pulse of the city.
Yeah.
And after a while of living here, that becomes more normal. And then I went and was spending some time in New York City and like had that like same feeling again.
So rather than having one's body kind of contorted by someone else, which is what's happening in Snap,
Yeah.
like it seems to be a celebration of like brushing up against one another and then experiencing like these bursts of color. To me, the record makes sense as the soundtrack to a bunch of people that are valuing those kinds of experiences.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's great. That was
This-
really well put. I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
I know,
Thought about this more than we have.
I know that you guys have said before that you're proud of the record because it kind of encapsulates a certain feeling and a certain moment in time. Is that a fair paraphrase? So how did that end up being the case, do you think?
And I think we were all kind of in some weird places.
Yeah.
And I feel like that coming together and making an EP and flushing out some of those emotions as brothers and as friends is a really powerful thing.
It seems like you lit each other up, through the process of, making music together and, create.
100%,
Yeah. Yeah, so I love that, there is a kind of like celebration of that both in the lyrics and also like we can hear in the music that there's a celebration of that. The final song that you'll perform in the studio is Neon. Cooper delivers a lyric about being neon. Are you a neon addict? Is that lyric from you?
That's a good question. No, that was his lyric.
That was
I'm
was
pretty
my
sure-
lyric, and then and I just forced Cooper to sing sometimes because nobody else.
But
would do it.
I might be in the way that he described neon, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be a neon addict?
What were you? How exactly would you say you were describing? It was like chasing something.
I think the concept of neon and neon lights. There's the idea of Vegas and stuff. It's like it's a front. It's a show. It can be very like beautiful and like, but it kind of symbolizes. I mean, chasing the late night hours and like chasing that vibe. I mean, not exactly the same that it's referred to in lit, but like kind of just
I just wanted to get a working definition to make sure
Yeah.
I answered the question
Is that
appropriately.
kinda- is that
But
kinda-
but insofar as I would say that sometimes I follow the things that I think that I want, but I get there and I realize that it maybe wasn't the thing that I was holding onto.
Yeah.
I would say in that way, I'm a neon addict.
That's-
Or I mean, when I think of neon addict, I almost think of like a phone screen or a computer screen or something, and seeking validation, and something that I would not want to be, but oftentimes find myself going to.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I think those are also powerful themes that are probably undercurrents within this album, maybe not even consciously, but subconsciously, because we're all, that's who we are. We're 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
Living here in Minneapolis, in, postmodern America, phone screens, cell phones, internet, screens all the time.
I think that's what everybody's trying to do at our age, at any age. It's like you're just going through life trying to determine what is the fake shit and what is the real stuff, and most of the time, you just don't know. You're just still figuring it out. So
It seems
this
like
is really abstract talk right now.
Yeah,
I feel like.
but I feel like the record is kind of a record of the process of doing that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
The difficult process of doing that. It would be,
Dissecting things,
it'd be a much. The record would be nowhere near as good if it was just celebrating the bright colors, as opposed to exploring the distractions of the neon signs. The murky context that we spend most of our time in, as we're seeking the bright colours, which are related to the feelings. You'll be lighting up the audience hopefully when you perform at Mortimer's.
Yeah, it's loud. It's in your face.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Which is Ben's aesthetic. It's louder in your face. So if you come out to Mortimer's, you're gonna know.
Are you actually pointing at?
This is
I'm just letting him know.
We're pointing at you. And actually this particular bill, it's a high energy bill.
Cool.
Yeah. Have you seen Karate Break before? They're one of my favorite in-studio sessions that we've had.
Awesome.
The viewers are witnessing their very colourful music video from the Back to the City session as we close today's episode. So as Karate Break are finishing their song just here at the Minnehaha Recording Company, we will take our journey one last time through the green screen to the Minnehaha Recording Company for the performance of Neon by Candid Kid. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank
Simon.
you. Yeah.
You're welcome. See you on Thursday, April 26th at Mortimer's.
We'll be there.
Partying.
Yeah. Lighting each other up.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, this is Neon by Candid Kid.
There goes that cheeky dropout.